You're listening to the IWD406 Podcast with your host, Julie Walls, where we celebrate, empower, and connect women across Montana and beyond. Join us as we share inspiring stories, valuable insights, and the voices of remarkable women making a difference in their communities. Today's guest is a true Flathead Valley favorite, someone whose voice, heart, and dedication have made a lasting impact on her community. Leah Lindsay first captured hearts back in 1997 when she launched her radio career, quickly becoming a beloved local personality thanks to her warmth, charisma, and uncanny ability to make anyone feel like the most important person in the room. She truly does. Beyond the mic, Leah is known for her incredible passion for service. A tireless volunteer, she's been honored by her community time and time again. Voted #1 in Best of the Flathead categories year after year, from Best DJ to Best Community Volunteer. And in 2024, the community showed their love once more, naming her the #1 Best Real Estate Broker and Best Commercial Real Estate Agent. In 2016, Leah teamed up with her daughter to bring that same heart and hustle into real estate, becoming a licensed realtor. By 2022, she had added supervising broker to her title, further proving her commitment to serving others. With more than 35 years of experience in sales and marketing, a powerful social media presence, and deep-rooted relationships across Montana, Leah brings creativity, care, and excellence to every client she helps. But through all those accolades, what Leah is most proud of are the moments that come from simply showing up, lending a hand, and giving back. Welcome, Leah. How are you today?
Oh my goodness, Julie. I'm so happy to meet you in person.
I know. When we talked, when I was cleaning toilets up in Polbridge, and I heard your voice for the first time, and I thought, this woman has a voice. You are the voice of Montana, right? Just say yes. Say yes. You are.
Own it.
Own it. Own it.
Yes.
You had such a beautiful, buttery voice. And I thought, my gosh, does she do audiobooks, meditation? I could listen to you all day long and I could fall asleep to your dreamy voice.
Watch this right here. You are getting very sleepy.
Holy buckets. You put me in a trance. It's like hypnosis. I love it. You're amazing. And having that voice, let me just say this. Did you always have, growing up, or do you think as you aged, that voice came into play?
When I was a little kid in church, I loved to say the Lord's Prayer.
Oh.
I would love it when we'd stand up in church. I could hear my voice. And I would say the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
I love saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
I love it. And
it just came out.
So those, there are moments in my life when I was like, I like to hear it, feel it, because it resonates in the chest.
Yeah.
And it just feels
and it's connected to your heart.
warm.
So there's connection. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. And when you hear some people talk, they're like, I can't stand my
That's
voice.
because maybe their voice is in their head and that's not really.
That's true.
Love.
Oh my gosh. We got to get into this. Okay, let's back up. Let's start. Are you originally a Montanan or are you a transplant?
I was born August 29th, 1965 in Lewistown, Montana.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that like growing up?
Well,
You're 60s girl.
60s?
Yeah. 70s.
80s?
Yeah.
What is a better decade?
I don't know.
I think they're all
I know.
so cool.
Yes.
I remember watching Man in the Moon crashing, coming back in the thing and landing in the ocean and Gilligan's Island.
Oh my gosh, I love Gilligan's Island. Who was your favorite?
Ginger.
Oh, you love Ginger.
ginger. I'm a girl from Montana. Of course, I love the glamour.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I love Marianne.
Yeah, everybody is Marianne in Montana.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, there's there's some gingers. We've got some gingers.
I've got some gingers.
Yes,
you
yes.
know. Did you see that April Fool's joke?
No.
Oh my goodness. That somebody put out a thing that said, "Bravo, the desperate housewives of Whitefish, Montana." And my daughter texts me and she's, "Mom, is this a thing?" And I'm like, April Fools.
Yes, it totally got. No, I know which one you're talking about. That's Explore Whitefish. They totally got me at that. I was like, what? And I'm a big reality. If I'm going to watch TV, I watch reality TV.
Right.
And I thought, that is genius. They totally need something like that. Maybe it was a market test.
I honestly have written the script.
Oh, okay.
I wrote this script like 7 years ago.
We need to make it happen.
Let's do it.
I know. All right. Whoever's listening, they need to make this happen. Okay. So growing up, you grew up in Lewiston. Lewistown or Lewiston?
Lewistown.
Lewistown. Okay.
Lewiston's in Idaho.
Okay. So Lewistown. And then how big of a city is that?
Small.
Small.
And my parents taught there.
Okay.
But then we moved back to where I grew up.
But are you a generational Montanan? So did you have family that homesteaded there?
Close.
Okay.
So yeah, my great grandpa came from Northern Ireland.
Oh,
At the age of 16, got in a boat, went to Montreal, came across Montana, and ended up at a ranch.
Wow.
Outside of Two Dot, Montana.
You know what's so crazy is that looking back in history and to think, okay, I'm going to Montana. Like, it's really...
He probably didn't even know where he was going.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't... And then my great-grandmother came from Devonshire, England, across the country, not across Canada, across the States.
Yeah.
And ended up at the same ranch.
Wow.
And they met, and...
The rest is history. You're all born.
They decided that they were coming to homestead Flathead Valley.
Yes.
And they got on a wagon train, and their first child was born outside of Missoula.
Oh.
And my great-grandmother, Annie, was one of the very first babies registered when they started registering babies in Flathead County in Kalispell.
Wow. That's a great piece of history.
Cool.
That's very cool. So did you know her?
Yeah.
And
she lived to be 102.
Shut it.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty amazing.
And she was a movie star.
Was she really?
She was in the movie Heartland, and she played a little old lady, and she got a residual check.
No way.
All the time.
Wow.
And she lived in Harlowton, Montana, which is close to Two Dot, and she grew up in Two Dot.
Okay, where is that in relation to like Kalispell, the Northwest area?
So where I was born, Lewistown, direct center of Montana.
Direct center.
Direct center.
So there's a little bit of mountains, but a lot of prairie. A mix.
A little, yeah.
A little mix. Okay.
And it's beautiful and great hunting for the hunters. I'm not a hunter. But
Yeah.
Two Dots and Harlowton, maybe just a little southeast of Lewistown.
Okay. So then, so pretty much your family stayed there, didn't leave.
They came here and they couldn't make it.
They couldn't make it. Got you.
So they went back.
They did. Okay.
To Harlowton.
Okay. Back to Two Dot. Okay. And then
Two Dot's a famous place.
I didn't know that.
Hank Williams Jr. wrote a song about it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right, Leah. You're giving me some music trivia. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so what was that like growing up in Two Dot area?
I didn't grow up.
Okay, you grew up in Lewiston.
I grew up in Plains.
Okay, you grew up in Plains. Okay, got you. We're gonna get this right.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in Plains, Montana. Beautiful. It's about an hour from here on the Clark Fork River.
Okay, gotcha.
One of the prettiest places. You ever gone to Paradise?
No.
Quinns?
Yeah, Quinns. Yeah.
That's
gorgeous.
That's my hometown.
Yes. Okay.
That's
wow.
my hometown.
So you have fly fishing, you have all the river there. Gosh, that's gorgeous. So what was that like growing up?
Really cute farm boys.
Yeah. We're getting into it. So cute farm boys.
No, handshake is as good as your word.
Yeah, I see that.
You do the right thing.
Yes.
And if you don't, everyone knows.
Everyone's going to know because the town wasn't very big. It still isn't very big.
No. We had Plains and Paradise combined. My graduating class was 50, and that was a really big class.
Yeah.
Typically.
Right.
30, 35.
Okay.
I don't know what it's like now.
Yeah.
My dad still lives there.
Growing up then, yeah, you have your little circle of friends. You try to be friends with all 50 because you know their name and their family.
Right,
You're going to be invited to a birthday party. But yes, hopefully, yeah. But then, so did you end up staying there? Because I know we need to talk about the fact that you really did move a lot growing up. When was the start of that? What grade?
So my mom and dad got divorced when I was going into 4th grade.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went to the city. My mom moved us to the city. We went to
4th grade.
Helena.
Yeah.
And leaving my dad was the hardest thing I ever did because he is the greatest man. Human.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we moved to Helena, and my grandfather had been in the state senate.
Okay.
And he was helping my mom, now a newly single mom.
Yeah.
With a little boy, a little baby, and me.
You had a little brother.
Yeah, a little brother.
So about 7, 8 years separate difference in regards to age.
7 years.
So let's walk through that just a little bit. So you going into 4th grade, from what I know in the history of education, that's a big pivotal year for kids. You're starting to really settle in to find your friends. And that self-image piece comes into play. Then also scholastically, things are starting to advance. Zits. Oh, dang, zits. That sucks. It does suck. But then you're going into 4th grade, and then your mom decides we're moving. And we're going to not just go from a town of maybe a couple hundred.
Where you know everybody.
Where you know everybody. Everybody's looking out for you while you're outside riding your bike. You may have a stop sign that you got to contend with. Or a stop sign, not a stoplight.
Suddenly I'm going to C.R. Anderson, 4th grade, and kids are like, are you jock, a frock, or a freak? And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And then people are like talking about things like pot. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, that's true.
In Plains, Montana, we had one radio station. It was country. We had 2 TV stations. What did we watch? The Waltons, Hee Haw, the Porter Wagoner, Dolly Parton Hour. And suddenly you're talking about what? Suddenly we have cable TV?
Wait, okay. Okay, you go from the Waltons. You're driving to
John Boy.
Helena. When was the first time you heard Beyond Country?
Okay.
You got to tell that story, Leah.
Okay. This is the moment I fell in love with radio. Like, we're driving over McDonald Pass, and it was an AM station because that's all we had. And I hear, I shot the sheriff.
Oh, little Clapton.
Oh, I know. And I was like, Mother, what is this music? That's rock and roll, yeah. And then I heard, the night Chicago died. La, la, la. Oh. And I heard, KCAP, Helena. And that was it. I was like, I couldn't, I lived for KCAP, Helena. And back then they had just come out with these little tape recorders.
Yeah.
It was a little tape recorder. You had a little cassette tape and you could put it in your tape recorder. And I would just sit by the radio and record, especially Casey Kasem.
That's how we all used to do it. Casey Kasem. Oh, I loved
America's Top 40.
You are right. I loved him. I used to sit in the church parking lot. I couldn't wait to get out of Mass. And my friend and I that went to Mass, we'd always run to the car, turn on Casey Kasem because we wanted to hear the top
Oh, yeah.
40 or whatever it was.
And there's little dedications or flashback from, and that voice.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah.
So that's when you got the fever.
And when I would go home to Plains,
Yeah.
because Plains has always been home, I would take my little player and I'd listen to KCAP and Casey Kasem on my
On your
recording.
Because you couldn't hear
I didn't
that.
have that in Plains.
You couldn't get access to that. So what was that like? Can you give me a little bit of insight of what was it about that moment that really, it's almost like that heart-struck moment for you?
I don't know.
You don't know.
There was the times in church that I said the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
Those are moments that
Yeah.
that mattered. And hearing this on the radio and hearing this music and then moving into Helena. So 4th grade year, I went to 4 schools in Helena.
Wow.
And I'm sure my mom was a single mom trying to figure out how to pay the rent. And maybe that if she didn't like that first place, it was an apartment. There were people around us. We'd always lived in a house.
Yeah. Yes.
So we were out of there.
But for you, from that emotional maturity development stage, though, were you just a go with the flow girl, or
Yeah.
were you starting to develop any sort of anxiety of, wow, this is a lot?
I think there was anxiety, but
But you didn't know what it was.
I like, okay, I'm the new girl now at
Yes.
Central School here in Helena. Oh, now we're moving to Rossiter. Oh, now I'm going to Smith. And that was 4th grade.
Wow. That's a lot.
And I'm actually grateful and blessed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think my sophomore year, I went to 5 schools across the state of Montana. I went to Polson. I went to Ronan. I went to Billings. I went to Helena Capital. I started at Missoula Big Sky, and I ended at Missoula Big Sky. So, yeah, 5 years 5 schools sophomore.
Holy buckets. Did you ever stay anywhere more than just a year? No. So even through high school, graduation.
So finally, my junior year, my mom was like, let's move to Plains.
Okay.
And my mom was a state senator representing Missoula County.
Wow.
But we moved to Plains because apparently back in the day, you can do that.
Oh, you know that. Yes.
And nobody knows where you live.
Yeah.
If you got an address somewhere, you got an address somewhere.
Yeah,
Then
there you
you
go.
count.
Yeah.
So we moved back to my home. My dad was there.
Oh, good.
And now I was there with my mom and my stepdad.
And was great grandma Annie there? No, she was not in that area.
But my mom's dad, my grandpa McCullum, who was also, they were both in the state senate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty, what was that like?
Amazing.
Yeah. What's Republican or Democrat?
Republican.
Okay, got you.
However, back in the day,
Yeah, it was a little different.
Republicans and Democrats work together.
Yes. That's
Okay.
true. Yes.
And actually, a great story, which is so off topic,
That's okay.
but it's a really good story.
I love it.
Bob Brown represented Whitefish
Okay.
in the state senate, and he went on to be Secretary of State. He lives here. He's a great human. He was a Republican, and he and my grandfather were great friends. And he said to me, Leah, I got to tell you a story about your grandpa. Remember when the Republicans and Democrats got together and got along? Well, the Democrats decided we should have a state sales tax. And they really talked us all into it. So we needed one more vote. George, your grandpa. So I went to George and I said, George, let's do this. And George said, I will never, ever vote for a sales tax in the state of Montana. I made a promise to my constituents when I got elected, and I will never break my promise.
Wow. That's being firm.
And then Bob Brown said to me, so the reason we don't have a state sales tax,
It's because of your grandpa.
that's what he told me. Now,
Wow.
they probably put it up
No.
again. But nobody's going to do it.
That's a real capture of history. That little detail, that's important.
Grandpa McCollum, great man.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's no sales tax. I came from...
we got enough taxes.
We've got enough taxes. I came from 8.7 tax on everything. Plus you add city tax.
Wow.
It's a crazy... You're looking at about 15% in taxes.
Which is crazy.
It's so crazy. So thank you. Thank you, Grandpa. I love it. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
And so as a little kid in Helena,
Yeah.
my grandpa's in the Senate, and I grew up there.
Yeah.
I think the first time I was a page, I was 6th grade and then 8th grade in the House, and then in the Senate my sophomore year and my senior year. And people say to me, you should run. And I'm like, I would love to run, but people are so mean and they crucify each other. And am I a perfect human? No. And do I want to be crucified? No.
Good for you. That's protection. Good for you. I love that, because you were meant to do something different, which was, we're going to get into it. Your history is amazing. So I want to know, you ended up graduating. Then what did you end up doing? Did you go right into radio?
No.
You didn't.
I was scared. And I think a lot of that is probably all those moves. 19 schools in the state of Montana.
But I want to say something, though. With all those moves, and I've only known you just a little bit, your ability to see people, that whole experience, as chaotic and as maybe dynamic as what it was, because you want to put a positive spin on it, right?
Like, honestly,
yes.
Honestly, the greatest thing that ever happened to me, it gave me gifts.
It totally did.
Gave me gifts.
Because you can connect with people, all types of people, very quickly because of that exposure. Don't you feel?
You either sink or you swim.
That's true.
So you got to get it. You got to get it going on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But your openness, because you had to be open because you're going into these new situations with new people that have grown up together, and you had to figure it out.
And you know what? You can look at someone and only see the exterior.
Yeah.
What I see is how they're taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
I look at someone and I'm like, oh, I think that person needs some love. Yeah. I think that person's got some major walls. I'm not going to try and psychoanalyze everybody, but I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. And it's probably because I had those walls and I had those fears. But we're all so special and we all have so many gifts. God made us all.
That is right. Yes. But maybe, I'm going to flip this.
Okay.
But maybe you innately came into all these situations, these new situations, with not so much of a wall. I
was probably pretty open.
Yeah.
And easily.
Yeah.
My mom would always be like, Leah, you have rose-colored glasses.
But I think we need more people like that in this world. I really do. Well, I think it's wonderful. And I think leading into after school, after going beyond high school. So what was your next steps?
So I married my high school sweetheart because I was really afraid to walk into the world alone.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And he was my best friend.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
when did you guys meet?
March 19th, 1982. Actually, no, way before that. That was our first date.
Okay, gotcha.
My dad dated his mom.
Okay.
We were kids. And he was a couple years younger than me.
Okay. Ooh, he liked an older woman.
I'm a cougar.
Yes. I love it. She is a cougar. She's pretty amazing. So that's awesome.
So he joined the Navy and we got out of Plains, Montana.
Oh.
And we went to Chicago. And then we went to Orlando. And then we went to San Diego and LA.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And the whole time I loved radio.
Yeah.
When I moved to Chicago, I listened to Johnny on the Loop.
Ooh. Oh. I don't know who Johnny on the Loop was.
Well, it's because I'm really old and you're not.
Oh, stop. there's not that much of an age difference, I'm going to tell you. But Johnny on the Loop.
Yeah.
What was that station? What was the genre?
It was rock.
Rock.
It was,
okay.
No.
You're a rock queen. You like rock.
I'm the Flathead's original rock chick, baby.
Oh, I love that. I love what you just said. You are the original rock queen. You are. Shut it. I'm sitting next to you. Listen, no, I am sitting across from the Montana's original rock queen. That just blew my mind. Seriously. That's pretty stinking cool. So now, hold on.
I feel very blessed about that.
Yes,
like,
and we're
amazing.
Blessed. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so did you end up working in radio? But you couldn't have because you had to travel, right?
I was moving.
Yeah.
I was the best preschool teacher ever.
I love it.
I love kids.
Yeah.
And until I had my first child, every base, Navy base we went to, I worked in with all these children of every color. They were amazing. And I, of course, came from this very homogenized blue collar. I am a blue collar girl. I know how to blue collar it up.
Yes.
And wow, there were all these what's the word?
Ethnicities.
Thank you.
Yes, that's okay. I got you, girl.
Yeah, I was going to give it an extra itties.
Yeah, that's okay. I do it all the time. Yes, I got you.
Yeah, it to me was suddenly culture.
Yeah. Yes.
And I remember moving to Chicago, and Oprah
oh, yeah.
was local. She did not have a national show.
No, I do remember that.
And I was so
was
excited.
The Jenny Jones show, Phil Donahue.
Oh,
they were all very.
And what was her name with the red glasses?
Sally.
Sally.
I love
Jesse
Sally.
Raphael.
Yeah, Sally, Jesse Raphael.
Okay,
yes.
so again, this is my addiction to radio, my addiction to TV.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be Oprah.
Of course. This was fast. Let's go into that a little bit. I'm curious to know how it was she pivoted and she just blew up because she did relatively the same type of show as the rest of them.
Because she
was business savvy?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like she saw people.
Yeah. Yes.
She saw what made them afraid. What maybe they were proud. She brought it out of people.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my connection to Oprah.
I get that. I can see that. So at that point, then, did you decide, I want to do something like that?
Yes.
Okay, so then when did that happen?
So we were in San Diego, and I had my second baby.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I love my kids, but I really need to not be at home with two kids.
Yeah. Yes.
I need people.
Yeah.
And at the time, that husband, my first victim.
Your first victim. I love it.
Just kidding. No, he's a great man and a great father to my kids, but gets out of the Navy. I'm like, we're going to Missoula. We're going home. We're going to Missoula. I'm going to the University of Montana. I'm going to study radio broadcasting. This is what I'm doing. I was researching broadcasting schools before I left San Diego. I was looking at them in San Diego. I got to get me out of the home with two little babies.
Yeah.
I love them, but
you need something for you because that can die down and you can build in some resentment.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. But what made you decide to go back home? You were like, we need to go back.
Yeah, like get me out of the city.
Yeah.
Like this was really fun. Got a lot of culture. Got to meet all the cool people. But no.
There's nothing like.
Let's go to Montana. Let's go home.
There's something about this that you come back to and it feels secure. It feels like you can do whatever you want.
Whenever, even moving to the city, Helena, or living in Billings, or living in like the big city, Missoula. Anytime I go to Plains, I feel this sense of safety and calm. And even though people come and go and things change, but it's always the same.
Yeah. I like sameness.
Yeah.
I like knowing the person I'm going to see at the grocery store, and I have a name to connect with. And you do lose that when you're in bigger cities. And I don't know, just being here, it slows down a bit. Being in the cities, you can only take so much of that hustle and bustle. Oh, you like it. Yeah.
I was like, bada bing, bada boom, let's do this.
Yeah.
I like that. And that's my energy. But I like connection. I remember taking the train into downtown Chicago, getting off the train.
The L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people are just like, nobody sees you. Nobody even looks at you. There's no this. It's
a hustle.
Yeah.
Let's go. I got stuff to do.
You're not even a number.
You're not a thought.
And in Montana, my grandpa was famous for his 2-finger wave.
I love that.
Yeah. You drive around.
Yeah. That's what we do when we get a pole bridge. We flip our 2 fingers up or we hi.
But just not the middle one.
No, not the middle one. Never, never. You never know when you need somebody because that road is terrible. So you think you don't want to piss anybody off.
That road.
Yeah. Okay. So then you went back to college. You got your broadcasting degree?
Started just taking some general studies.
Yes.
But my goal was to go into radio broadcast.
Okay.
Or maybe interpersonal communication.
Yeah.
So I took some classes. You got to have that art class. You got to fulfill the arts with a liberal arts degree.
Yes. Yes. The basics.
And when I was in high school, acting, I loved it. And I loved radio. I made my own little radio station in 7th grade for music class out of a refrigerator box.
Yes.
That I cut out.
That's amazing.
And I had a little record player over here. And I played Torn Between Two Lovers by, what was his name? Billy and Marilyn.
Oh, I don't know who it is, but that sounds amazing.
That's awesome. And I pretended to be a DJ.
Yeah.
In my little refrigerator box.
It was in your wheelhouse. It was there. It's coming out in all sorts of things. Creativity.
So here I am in college, and I'm like, I say to my husband, John, the Navy guy who went into the world with me, I said, because at this point I had 2 kids and all the moving. Yeah, I had a lot of insecurity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I fed that big empty spot in me with as much food as I could.
Oh, gotcha.
And at this point, I weighed about 300 pounds.
Wow.
But I really wanted to take this acting class.
Yeah.
Just for my art credit. Because I was pretty good at it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I knew I was supposed to do that.
Yes.
So I said, and he was not an actor. He had no interest. He was a nuclear engineer in the Navy.
Yeah.
Polar opposite. I was like, please come to this class with me because people will know someone loves me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he did.
Yeah.
He did. And the more I did it, then I was like, now I'm going to take the next intro to acting class. And by the end of that intro to acting class, my teacher was like, you should major in acting and directing.
Wow. Wow.
So I went, and my first class, there were 2 different classes of acting one. And there were 80, 40 in each class.
Got you.
And there were some really bad actors.
Of course, yeah.
Which is the thing I hate. Okay, let's watch things on Instagram and TikTok and people I'm like, shut up, go away. You're so bad.
That's true. It's true.
If you could be authentic.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
But if you can't, stop it.
Yes. Thank you.
Stop it.
Thank you.
When in these acting classes, we would watch each other and we learned how to help each other learn. Okay, Julie, here's your crutch. This is your crutch. Why do you always do this? You come back to this same movement or this eye roll and we taught each other how to break our bad habits.
Wow.
It's like then when I moved into radio, it's like an air check. You listen to your air check and you listen to, oh my gosh, I do the same stupid stuff over and over, cut it. But I learned this studying acting.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't have had that if you wouldn't have noticed that in radio if you wouldn't have done that. Wow.
Exactly. And
Interesting.
And as a peer,
Yeah.
and that first year, there were like 80 of us. Our second year, there were like 30. Then we had to audition to even move forward in the program. I think 15 of us auditioned, 7 of us made it.
Wow.
And a couple could go take other classes, come back and try again.
Yeah.
It was a 5-year training program. And we learned how to be brutal with each other.
Yes.
And in the beginning, the first couple of years, I actually was like 315 my first year, 315 pounds.
Got you.
You looked at me and I would cry.
Mm.
They were teaching me my bad habits. They were pointing out what I needed to do to be more authentic, to be more real on stage.
Wow.
And I was, for the first 2 years,
It's like really deep therapy.
really deep therapy.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have these brilliant professors that are also like, how do you get better?
Yeah.
And what a gift.
Did you find as you were going through that, the layers of what you were feeling on the inside, if you were feeding yourself? I don't want to generalize, but when you do get to the point where you're holding and hoarding that weight, did it start to shift a bit or?
I decided also I needed a therapist.
Yeah.
So I started going to therapy and because
And maybe you wouldn't have realized that though, Leah, if you wouldn't have done what you were doing.
and maybe you're right.
Yes. Okay. Interesting.
I was so sure everyone was looking down on me and I was about this important. And I developed a really like bulimic sort of situation where I would walk across campus. I was so heavy. It was hard.
Yeah.
And if I was late to a class, no way would I walk in. And it took a while to get across campus to go to a class.
Yeah.
So I'd have these panic attacks and I couldn't get to my car fast enough. And I'd get to my car and I would drive and I would go to McDonald's and I would order a chicken sandwich, a Big Mac. I would order like 5 sandwiches. I would order 5 cups of coffee. I didn't drink coffee. I was just really sure that the person at the drive-through window was going to think I was going to eat all 5 of those sandwiches, which I was. But if I had 5 cups of coffee, they would think I was taking it somewhere.
Yeah. Wow.
A lot. Then I would go to Arby's, and then I would go to Taco Bell, and then I would go sit in the mall parking lot in Missoula, and I would eat all this food as fast as I could.
Oh.
And typically, I didn't vomit.
Wow.
But then I had 15 cups of coffee on the bottom of my car, and I had all this garbage. And then I found a garbage dumpster behind Sentinel High School, and I would wait until there was nobody around the garbage dumpers, and I would go through all my garbage in. And then I'd feel guilty.
Yeah.
So anyway, therapy and acting
Yes.
helped me get through that.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even drop that on you before.
No, but I think those that are listening in that carry so much, and they also, this is probably pretty, I'm not trying to undermine your experience or devalue it, but I bet you it's a pretty common thing for people that carry so much shame and guilt.
Yeah.
And it's probably carries out in behaviors.
Yeah.
And to hear you explain it in such a way, I'm hoping that those that are listening in understand that they're not alone. You just shared something that people deal with, that they carry in their lives, and they don't know what to do. And after all of that, you realize, did you have this moment you're like, I got to get help? Did you know? You were like, I got to get help. Acting was helping. All these things were starting to align. And then you were like, I need to get a therapist.
And her name was Kristen. And I was with her for 5 years. Actually, even when I moved to Kalispell,
yeah,
I still would go back and see her.
Yes. It's okay.
And she was a student too.
Wow.
So she was getting her psychiatry. She was amazing.
Yeah. But she helped you. Because you started to feel open enough to speak and share your truths, because that'd be a hard story to share. I know for me going to therapy, I'm just sharing some parallels. Going to therapy, I'm a very private person. Lots of stuff that I've contended with in my life, I don't share with anyone. And to go and to speak to somebody and develop a sense of, I can talk to you and share my truth, that is when I feel things happen. Such a profound way. And that's what I've experienced even in my own therapy journeys. And I think people that are listening in, what would you tell them?
I believe you got to take and grab your chest with your hands and
rip it open. Wow.
Jump off the cliff.
Yes. Not figuratively.
No, let's not
do it.
No,
but it's time.
Unless you got like a thing.
A parachute.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going there. Yes. But
yeah. And you know what was really great too, with those acting classes combined with therapy, was I was getting confidence.
Yes.
I wasn't crying as much when I was being critiqued by my classmates.
Yeah.
And I was growing. And then I went auditions, big thing for an
auditions
actor.
Here in Montana. You could audition for places for parts
at the University of Montana.
At the University of Montana. Got you. Okay.
Actually, it was about that time they were doing A River Runs Through It, and some of my friends were in this. It was right before I started studying acting.
Wow.
That they shot that. So I have a lot of friends. One of my friends
that were
played
in that
Brad
movie.
Pitt's best friend in the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
But just to know, like, the discovery of Montana and the scenicness and the amazing backdrops in films, and you were in that part. I don't think there were too many films before that were shot on location in Montana.
Great Granny Annie.
That's true.
Was in Heartland.
Yes, we can't forget that. We can't forget that.
She was a movie star.
Look at all of these things pointing to you, Leah. And then that self-discovery.
My family was like, why are you studying acting?
Yeah.
Why are you studying acting? Because I had to.
Yeah.
I really had to. And
it's in your soul.
It changed my life.
Mm.
It changed my life. So when you don't think that the arts are the most perfect therapy for humans,
yeah,
they are.
Yes. Yeah.
And theater is the most perfect art form there is, but I'll say that. Other people will disagree with me, but we got music. We can paint with light. We can paint with costuming. We can paint with the set. We can tell the story. We don't even need anything but a light.
I love that.
Like,
and okay, why don't I say this?
It's all combined together.
Yes. So when you were in Missoula, I'm sorry. You were in Missoula, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were in Missoula, and then when did you move to Kalispell and start your job as the rock goddess at B, right? B Broadcasting.
Yeah.
When did that happen? Was it by chance, or were you like, that job's available, I'm going for it?
I was in Missoula bartending when I wasn't in college.
Yeah.
Or in a show. And I was like, people knew me. Like they would see my show. You're not going to, have you ever heard of Granny Clampett?
No, I've never heard of that.
You don't know the Clampetts?
The Clampetts, yeah. You're talking about the granny on the Clampetts.
Right. Okay, so her name is Irene Ryan, and she's one of the greatest actresses there is. And there is a national award for people studying acting that's called the Irene Ryan Award.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I was nominated for an Irene Ryan.
That is cool.
So this was some of my first successes. One of my first auditions was, I was like, oh, I don't even need a line. I just want to be cast.
Yeah.
I just want to wear a costume.
Yes.
But I got 2 really great roles that first audition for the season. And I was really good.
That's cool.
And when you finally own it, it's not because I'm arrogant and I think I'm all that and whatever, slice of bologna. I don't know.
You just knew. But you got to give credit to the fact that you spent 5 years honing it.
This was year 1.
Okay. Got you. You just had that natural talent.
By that second semester, I didn't just get a part with a costume. I got an amazing role in The Seagull, and I got one of the leads in Lysistrata.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like 300 pounds.
That's wonderful.
But I like therapy and my friends in my classes teaching me, oh, get better at this, get better. You know what I mean? Let's get rid of some of these habits.
Yeah.
And let's do something good.
Yeah.
And my learning curve was like, phew.
Yeah.
And through all of it, the University of Montana, at the end of my first year, they gave me their talent scholarship.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
Yes.
And pinch me.
Yes.
Throughout that time, as I went on, I went from the character actress who played the goofy Ethel, Lucy's Ethel. If you don't know who Lucille Ball is, go watch.
Oh my gosh.
There are some young kids that have no idea.
Oh, what?
My hero, Carol Burnett.
Oh, yeah. She's awesome. Amazing.
So at the beginning, I was playing those characters. My last role at the University of Montana, my 5th year, I was the leading lady.
Wow.
My body had transformed. Suddenly I weighed 130 pounds.
Wow.
Instead of 315.
Yeah.
Hi, microphone.
Yeah, sorry. That happens.
And what a transformation. And I was bartending and all these businesses, I was calling Keno. B9.
Yes.
064.
Yeah.
And the owner of this bar and all of his friends would sit at the end of the bar and they'd listen to me and they'd be like, will you do our radio commercials? Radio? Are you kidding me? I love radio.
Yeah, yeah.
It's my first love.
Yes.
And so pretty soon I'm doing these radio commercials for all these different businesses in Missoula.
Yeah.
And Kiss FM was like, you want to come work here? And I'm like, okay, you're going to pay me minimum wage. You're going to give me an overnight job. I'm making bank as a bartender.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, that's
so
another job I was really good at.
Okay, got you. Yes. I can see that, though. You're personable. You can connect with us. We can connect with patrons.
I mean, I'm not going to be a ski instructor because I'd be on my face the whole time. Yeah.
Yes.
There are things you do
Yes.
that you do well, what you do, Julie.
Bartending, you have to be a people person. So you are a people person. So then, okay, you were doing
So I was doing these commercials. Yes. But at this point, I was divorced from
and you had
victim number one.
3 kiddos or 2 kiddos at that point?
3.
You had 3 kiddos at that point. And boy, girl, what's the...
Boy, girl.
Boy, girl, boy. And are they close in age?
Yeah, all two or less years apart.
Okay. So at that point, did you decide then to move to Kalispell?
Then I met another guy.
Another guy gets thrown in there. I get you. These guys derail. Yeah.
And I was a single mom. I'm in Missoula. He was from here.
Okay, got you. Yes.
And I didn't want him to meet my kids. We didn't have cell phones. I was like, you came into a bar I was working at. That's the phone number that you can get a hold of me at. Right. Is the bar phone number.
They had to try hard. They had to try hard.
They had to try.
Yes. Yes. Now they don't have to.
And our first date, I was 45 minutes late because I was directing a play and I was in my last dress rehearsal.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm really late. I did my thing. I show up. He's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And afterwards, I was like, I got to go back to rehearsal. And
so you were pretty well established
in Missoula.
Because you're directing plays. You're a lead actress. You are doing business commercials, radio. And then you met him. Then did you decide to move to Kalispell? That's like starting all over.
It was really intense for me.
Yeah, because
I was like, I knew who I was there. And I got up here and I was like, Kalispell.
And Kalispell probably at that time wasn't very big. It's not a big market. And Missoula was bigger.
Yes.
Okay. So now you got to figure that whole thing out.
And it was like planes though.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When you've lived all over Montana, you can assimilate.
Yeah. And people know people.
And
it's true.
And anyway, eventually he talked me into marrying.
Oh, okay. That happens.
But when I moved here, I was like, what am I going to do here? I don't know what I'm going to do here.
Yeah.
And my friend said, oh, the Big Fork Playhouse, come be a part. Come direct a show in Big Fork at the Playhouse. So I'm like, okay, cool. And oh my gosh, there's a lot of really bad actors. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not going to say there's a lot of really good actors too. I will say
when you've had that experience and training.
Yeah. And you're working with people that are
leveling up.
All they're doing is lighting.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
All they're doing is sound.
Yes.
All they're doing is sound design versus sound. There's all these different aspects. And so if you're in a professional program, I came to expect that.
Yeah.
And you don't have that.
Right. Because here, was it in the 80s or 90s? 90s. At that time, did we have ATP?
No.
We didn't have any of these places.
I got to be a part of when they were first starting. We had them on the radio.
Wow.
I love them.
Yeah.
And
so was Big Fork Theater Group fairly new when you came up?
No, the Playhouse had been here.
Okay.
That's a whole other story, but the Big Fork Playhouse had been here for many years. The Thompsons, Jude, their family has had it. And then there was a little community theater part of it. So during the summer, they had summer stock.
Okay, gotcha.
So they would go around the country and audition actors, just like ATP.
Okay. Yeah, because the theater scene, when I'm thinking of Montana, I'm not thinking about coming here for theater, right? And now that I've been here for just a bit of time, little bit.
There's some great theater.
There's great theaters. There's little great community projects happening to bring the arts to the people. But I do see that you have to have the lighting person maybe be a back actor so everybody's, because it's limited.
Yeah.
Did that frustrate you though?
I started my own theater project.
What's the name of it, Leah?
It's no longer really.
Yeah.
The Healing Arts Project.
Oh, very cool.
So I have a friend who's a therapist.
Yeah.
Lee Chicken Dance. And kind of like chicken.
Yeah.
Only not. Chicken Dance. What a great name.
That is a great name.
So she was helping my daughter.
Okay.
In high school.
Wow.
And me.
Yeah. And so you had a healing. So it was helping, like doing creative work to help through the healing piece.
She was our therapist.
Yeah, wonderful.
But she and I really got each other.
Yeah.
And said, okay, let's take what you do, Lee, and what I do, Leah.
Yeah.
Let's tell stories.
Oh.
That are about important social situations.
Yeah.
Bulimia.
Mm.
Rape.
Wow.
Vietnam.
Yes.
We did some really amazing shows.
Is there anything like that exist now?
I'm sure somewhere, maybe.
But not here.
Not here.
Oh.
And I want to bring it back. I want to do all the things.
That sounds amazing.
What I like, I don't want Oklahoma where the wind.
Yeah.
I want theater that makes you think.
Yes.
I want theater that makes you respond. I could care less about a stupid musical. Okay, it's still arts.
Right.
And it's got its place.
It sells tickets, but impact is, I'm hearing this.
I want the audience to sit after the show is over and talk to each other.
Yes.
By themselves, like husband, wife. Do you go through this? I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Do I love when the lights go out and you see a couple people sitting sitting there talking?
Yeah.
I don't want to force it. I don't need a forced conversation. I want you
to feel it. That needs to come back. If it's not already existing, it needs to come back. I think you got something.
The healing arts.
I think you have something. You got your checklist, your bucket list. And not that your bucket list is what you've already done.
My bucket's pretty full.
You've already done a lot. So you came here, you started working at the...
Yeah. I went in, I was like, I'm going to go, I'm going to take my air check. My radio commercials.
Radio commercials.
And I went to the TV station, KCFW. I went to B Broadcasting. I had a couple of other interviews that were like sales. And nobody called me back.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, I was really good in that interview. But my interview at B Broadcasting was different.
Okay.
The general manager was like, okay, can you come back in 3 days and meet the owner and have an interview with him?
Somebody must have saw something in you immediately.
I know. Thank you, Mark Wagner. And then, so I'm calling KCFW, Steve Fethlein. I'm like, dude, he's like the main broadcaster. Everybody knows him. I'm like, hi, Steve. I'm going to meet with Benny B. Sr. this Friday. And I thought I really had a great interview with you.
Yeah.
Don't you want to offer me a job?
Yeah.
And he was like, I have to leave this open. It's a corporate job. It's 15 days. It's got to be open. And I'm like, okay, you're going to lose your shot.
Oh,
wow. Can you believe that?
No, I think it's great.
I went from zero confidence.
Yes. Good. I love this. The evolution.
Right?
Evolution. Yes.
And that was 5 years of theater.
Wow.
That was 5 years of theater
therapy. So did he then go, all right, you're in?
No, he said, I've got to leave this job open for 15 days. And then I went in to see Senior and he was like, you're hired.
Shut it. Wait, so did you immediately go on air?
That's such a story.
I want to hear it.
I take my little tape in and I go,
yeah,
I'm with Benny. And I'm like, do you want to hear my commercials? He goes, no, I hired you for sales. You're in sales. You start tomorrow. And
not that sales is, it's very important.
Exactly.
Yes, it's what drives the station.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
So then I meet everyone my first day, including Rob Debris. who ended up being one of my morning show partners for many years. He made me cry that day.
Okay.
I felt like I was back in acting my first year. He was like, "Oh, you're like a professional. Like, here, get on the mic." And I was scared.
Yeah. That'd be intimidating.
And
Because you hadn't done radio at this point.
I hadn't done radio.
And it's a whole
I mean,
setup.
I'd done some commercial,
Right.
but not. Anyway.
Were you guys programming your own music and everything? You were cueing it and doing it all. Yeah. Yeah. And then it became automated and you had to put the record on or put the cassettes in and run the PSAs and all that. So you were doing all that and you had no clue before that. Oh. No. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the whole editing.
Oh, you had to do editing.
Oh, I love editing.
Wow.
I can edit sound.
Wow.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
That's one of my skills.
Got you. Yeah.
The first day, John Michaels Fleming.
Yeah. He was wonderful.
He was
such wonderful. Yeah.
So he was like, "Leah, come do the morning show with me tomorrow." I'm like, my second day of work. I go, "Okay." We didn't have cell phones. I didn't have a key to get in at 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I show up. I'm locked out.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like, the studio's up there on the second floor. What can I throw at the window? I can't throw a rock. Don't throw a rock, Leah. You don't break the window your second day of work. So I've got a pack of juicy fruit gum. And I'm like an idiot. Like somebody make this a video authentically. I'm throwing this gum at the window. And I suck. Like, I am not Sporty Spice. I am like I'm missing it. So then I get in my car. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be late. So I drive over to this little gas station, get on payphone, and call the bear.
Yeah.
And he's, "Oh, yeah, I'll be right down. I'll open up the door." Thanks, John.
Yeah.
So
he's probably laughing at this story.
He's totally laughing.
Yes, yes.
And then we did the show and it was amazing.
Yes.
And he was like, "Okay, you're my partner from now on."
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And
why do you think it was? Just because of your chemistry and you just got in there and you just knew you were in your element.
We could just be.
Yeah. Cool.
And he was such a brilliant broadcaster.
Oh, how long had he been doing it at that point?
I think he was 18 he did radio in Libby.
Okay.
And then he came here.
Okay. So he was also a broadcasting student or knew that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
That would have been an interesting story too to understand. So then you became the morning.
No. Because then Benny Sr. was like, "No, John said you could do the morning show with him, but I hired you for sales."
Oh, shoot. So you had to go back in that role after you just got a little taste of it? Yeah. I would have been a little bit hurt.
Both like, very sad. And didn't last very long. I did sales. I did all the advertising thing for a couple of years, but I also got the hats But then Ross Strauser came into the mix and Ross was like, "I want you to be my morning show partner."
Oh, they were all fighting over you.
Oh my God. I remember Benny Sr. telling me one time, he was like, "I want you to be like a quarterback.
Okay.
And you can go into this studio, do some morning stuff there. Then you go to that studio, do some morning stuff there, then go to that studio." I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wait, so at that point they had sister stations? What did they have?
So when I started, we had 3.
You had 3 stations.
We had KJJR, The Bear, and B98.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay.
And KJJR was the very first.
Okay.
And then, so Ross Sr. got another signal. So the first name was The Mountain, and then it was The Mix.
Okay.
Mix 96.
Mix 96.
And so Ross and I did mornings there.
Oh, cool.
And I would be like, "There's John right over there in that studio and The Bear, and I love him.
Yeah.
But there's Rob over there in B98, and I love him."
But I think it's great, though, that you got to move around a bit.
Yeah.
You got to experience different personalities. You're adaptable, so you can do it.
And here's the most important thing, I think, with radio and really with anything is when it comes to marketing, what's your target? Who are you talking to? Okay. Who are you talking to? So when I'm talking on the Bear, which I'm talking to my girlfriends. When I walk out that door and I go into B98 next door, I'm talking to my boyfriends. It is a flip. It is authentic. It is you, but it's who you know you're talking to.
Dang. That is, what you just said is so good. Because I think for folks in business, oftentimes, they forget who their avatar is. Or they get so used to that one avatar that they don't know how to pivot to a new type of avatar. So what you just said can be across all industries.
I think so.
Know who you're talking, know your audience.
Know your audience.
But also be able to adapt and shift and learn.
And know when your audience just checked out.
Yes. Dang, that was such good advice.
Oh.
Wow. I love what you just said. That's pretty. And I think, too, for folks that are new in business or new in the marketing world and they're trying to figure it out, you just summed it all up in 3 sentences.
Wow.
But it's true. Because people struggle and get frustrated and they wonder why no one's listening or no one's biting or selling or they're not moving the market. It's because they don't know who they're talking to.
What's your story?
Yes.
I'm gonna do a play.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Yeah.
And how do I tell it?
Yeah.
And who am I telling it to?
I love it. I think you just summed up your whole history of your radio. Truly, and you did that for how long?
22.
And what made you hang up your
years.
hat?
Couple things. Number one, my grandfather had been a real estate broker, and so was my mom.
Okay.
And I always was like, how long are you going to be an entertainer? As much as I loved it, I loved like all the helping.
Yeah.
The helping and the changing lives sort of thing. And that's what I love about real estate. So I think 2016, I was like, I feel like I'm getting older. And I'm going to go do this too. And
Okay.
I did both.
Real estate.
I was doing real estate and radio.
Wow.
And it would make John Michaels crazy. He'd be like, quit looking at your texts. Like, we do the show, you stay focused.
Yeah.
Quit emailing clients back. You
Hey.
know what I mean? Really hard to do 2 jobs. I'm
Maybe.
pretty good at multitasking.
I was going to say, I'm like, I bet you are. You can switch tasks in a heartbeat.
And then I would walk out of the Bear studio and I'd walk into B98 and I'd be talking to my boyfriends and then nobody was telling me to be focused as much.
Gotcha.
Right? But I was still like ratings.
Yeah. You're branded to it. You're driving it. You're driving it.
You want to win.
Yes.
And the other radio stations in the Valley, forget about it.
I love that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
B Broadcasting has stellar talent.
Good.
Stellar.
That's wonderful.
I think the best in Montana. Probably the best in the Northwest.
Wow.
Honestly. And not so much now because I'm gone, John's gone, Todd's gone.
Yeah. Yes.
But there's still some really great,
Good talent. Yes.
amazing talent there.
Yes.
And so who did I want to beat with the ratings? The people across the hall from me.
Yeah.
Because they were good. I don't care about the station down the road because they suck. True.
I love it.
And so I'm like,
You're amazing. I love it.
so John, like we'd be in the ratings period. I remember one year, my midday show on B98 beat my morning show on the Bear. I had even higher ratings than John and I did.
Shut it.
And John and I had the #1 morning show, like huge numbers.
Yes.
But then my midday show was huge.
Wow.
Anyway, that was, yeah.
Wow.
So that was cool.
So you were like at that point, 22 years deep, you'd all worked off of each other to, just like you did in theater, to help each other to get that #1 radio station.
And you air check each other. And John Michaels would tell me, don't do that again.
Okay. That's wonderful. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. Then, so at 22, you were like, I'm also going to do real estate because again,
I'm doing both.
You have to adapt in real estate. You're dealing with all types of finicky.
You pivot.
Things happen, sales shift or market shift, people shift.
I don't even want to tell you about the crazy people.
Oh, I'm sure. That's why I don't think I could do it. I don't have the wheelhouse for that. But I think.
But I love it.
But you love it.
I love it. And I love helping people.
Did you start Montana Property Angels then?
I asked my daughter to get her license.
Yeah.
And I've always had this heart to serve and volunteer. So there's this angel aspect.
I love it.
And then
yes,
I love Charlie's Angels.
Oh, that's good. That's how that came about.
Yeah.
Which Charlie's Angel are you?
I'm Farrah.
You're Farrah. Oh,
even
she
though
was
I'm
a badass.
probably Kate Jackson, short hair, brunette.
But everybody wants to be Farrah.
I want to be Ginger and I want to be Farrah.
I love it.
And Farrah was on my poster on my wall.
Wow.
Because I used to do full-on concerts in my bedroom.
Yes.
All my posters.
Oh, that's a riot.
I suck at singing, but man, can I perform.
Perform it. That's all that matters.
I could do all of Grease, every song in Grease, men's songs, women's songs. I could do the whole thing. And I did in my bedroom.
That's amazing.
Anyway.
So then that's where that came. So do you work with your daughter?
Yeah, she's my partner.
And how long have you been doing real estate?
To 2016.
Oh, several years now.
Yeah,
almost 10 years.
Almost 10.
That's wonderful.
And my daughter is a broker and she's genius. I'm a broker. And
good for you guys.
Then we have 5 other amazing realtors that work with us. And
wow. That's wonderful.
She's the math brain.
Yeah.
Like John Michaels always said, Leah, you do Plains math.
Okay.
And I would say, okay, you do Troy math. Oh. Troy and Plains are little tiny towns in Montana.
Got you.
We don't math.
No, I don't math very well either. So must be universal. Okay, so you've done real estate, but then you got back into charitable type work. And being here, you created your own production group, theater production group. When did that start? After you got your real estate license or before?
I was doing theater in Missoula, so I directed a play in Big Fork, and then I directed a few more plays for Big Fork. Then I taught kids acting at the Academy of the Performing Arts. I had kids from 5 to 18.
Wow.
And I really didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I love kids. I was a preschool teacher.
Right.
Love acting, but I like people studying acting who have a really
they're
focused mindset.
There. Yes. They want a career out of it.
And I don't necessarily want to teach kindergartners.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Although I had some amazing actors, and we did some great shows. I helped create a theater in the KM building. There were 3 of us women, and we started this theater company that was before the Healing Arts Project, the Kalispell. I don't remember what we called ourselves, but we did a lot of theater. The owners of the KM building at that time let us take this room that had been the original courtroom.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And turn it into a really amazing theater.
Wow.
Brick on the back wall. We did
very cool.
Yeah, very
So when did you start doing production at the Conrad Mansion? Wow.
It stopped in 2020 because of COVID. So I did an original show in the mansion every year for 20 years.
Wow.
So 2,000.
Holy buckets.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So every year it was like it's called Death by Chocolate. And my
Okay.
goal is to bring it back again. I wish I just had like more of me.
Yeah, we need to multiply you.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Because we
I
got
know.
to do Death by Chocolate, and we got to have a theater
You got and a healing project?
and the Healing Arts Project.
Yeah.
And can I hang out with you and podcast some?
Oh my God.
But then I love my clients, and every client becomes like my best friend, and multiple of them work with me.
Yeah. You're a woman of many hats, but I think you do it beautifully and you've got longevity. Why do you think that is?
I'm a blue collar girl.
Yeah, you got grit.
I blue collar it up.
Yeah.
I work. If you don't
Yeah.
work your butt off,
Yeah.
okay, I'm a workaholic.
That's all right. I feel like I am too. So
I think you are too.
Yeah,
I know
totally
you
am.
are. Yeah.
I totally
I
am.
feel this like sisterhood.
Oh, I immediately connected to it. I was like, yes. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. My family is blue collar, but I think it's that you start a project, you don't give up on it unless you really have to give up on it.
And I don't just, and you're the same thing. Look at what you're doing. You don't just do it.
You don't half-ass it. You do it. Yes. Yes.
You next level it up. And then who's your competition? Yourself. So then you got to next level it up more.
I know.
And more.
And it keeps you up at night.
I know.
That's true.
And this is my goal for my company and the way I take care of my clients. This is my goal. A lot of times I can't even do community theater. I go to shows and I'm like,
Yeah.
ow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want it to be great.
You want it to be great.
And Death by Chocolate.
We need to get that back, and you need to be doing the healing. And now you've already got a new place. Some things you can pull from for things that we're workaholics. We like to level up.
I mean,
and at the devastation we're at our own demise sometimes.
And our poor husbands.
Seriously.
And my husband's, are you ever going to quit working?
That's what my husband said. Yes, you need to do a play, and then I'll come to it, and then we'll have a conversation. It'll be a whole therapy session.
Yeah, and then you'll sit in the audience and talk
and ponder and cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe consult a divorce lawyer. You never know. I don't know. But wow, man.
Well, I'm on number 3, so I
That's
know
all right.
a couple of divorce lawyers.
That's, yeah.
Just kidding.
No. I'm almost 20 years deep into this.
I think you should stick around.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. I am. He's pretty good. He's good to me too. And we got 3 good kids. So
It's all what it's all about. And I
think the secret is just good communication.
yes.
I think really, if you got really shitty communication going on, things are it's
not going to be good.
And respect.
And
Yes.
respect.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm fortunate, and it's really weird. I got married a little over 2 years ago, 2.5, almost.
Oh, you're newlyweds.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And he had moved here. He's from Chicago, but he was a builder in Brentwood and Beverly Hills.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
mansions,
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And came up here to help friends build a home. And every time he'd bring his crew up from LA,
Yeah.
he was like, why am I going back to LA?
Oh, yeah.
And he moved here, but he's also a musician. And weird, I was at the same places.
Yeah.
I knew the same people. I was at some parties, really nice parties with not a lot of people. I never met him.
Wow.
We have so many friends in common. I know all the musicians because I was in the music scene.
Yeah.
Never met him.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm with a girlfriend, boating on Flathead Lake, sitting at Saddlehorn. And these 3 guys walk up to me and say, are you Leah Lindsay? And I thought, oh, maybe you want to buy some real estate. Here's my card.
Yeah. Yes. That's where your brain went right away. Yes.
away.
Yeah.
And next morning he called me.
Oh.
And I was like, I wonder which one it was.
Shut it.
No, serious.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, wonder. And he was like, because two of them said they were in a band. And he's, my band's playing tonight. You want to come? And I was like, I'm going to go to a bar by myself and not even know who I'm going to see.
Got it. Does he know this story?
Yeah.
He's going to know. Oh, I was going to say he's going to know it now.
But
yes. I love
So
that.
I went.
think you met your match.
And he's amazing.
Yes, it seems like it because it complements everything that you've done in your life.
And we have just
The best time, right?
Yeah.
Good. I'm so happy for you.
And today's his birthday.
Oh, what's his name?
Luke.
Happy birthday, Luke.
Luke.
Sorry your wife is with me on your birthday.
He's not. Sorry.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think what you've done, but I also want to highlight your community service. Working with the Wildland Firefighters Association.
You heard about that.
You've done that. Felicity's Ball, right? You've done amazing things to help give back to your community.
Like maybe 13 or 14 years ago, the Interlake called me and said, you've been voted best community volunteer.
Wow.
And then
That's
the next
huge.
year, I was voted best community volunteer.
What made you decide? I
didn't even try.
Okay.
If someone said, hey, Leah, could you come MC
Yes.
this? Of course.
Yeah.
Or do you want to be on this board, or would you help fundraise for this? And I always think it's like, I can't pick a favorite child.
Yeah.
I have 4 amazing children, very different, all amazing. No favorite. I can't pick a favorite nonprofit. And I can't say no to you and yes to you unless your event sucks and you don't have good sound,
Right.
and you don't care about your lighting, and you don't have a game plan. And maybe I'm going to volunteer for you once, and I'm going to be like, I'm not going to put myself out there to be humiliated.
Because you have a brand. You are a brand. You have you have a level of caliber, excellence. You've built this piece, and people know that if they get into your light. That's why I said, I'm like, you're the voice of Montana. You are a brand. And not only that, but learning about your story, the history, all of that, it's rich. And you want people to recognize and value that. And your time is very valuable. And I love that you understand that. And but you have a clear intention and boundary around that.
And
you're not going to give it away.
I'm like, if you want a great show, just ask me. I will help you.
Yes.
Because I studied acting and directing.
Yeah, you've done it.
Come on, I put the things on the stage.
Yes. Yeah.
And what are the important elements, and make it happen. And if you just, I don't care. I can fly by the seat of my pants with the best of them. But
you've earned it.
Check the boxes.
You've earned it. And you're at that level. I feel like too with women, life experiences are so great. And I just read this book called Let Them by Mel Robbins. And you have to let people figure it out. And what I love is conversations like this with saged mentors like yourself that have been there, done that can speak with confidence and say, I have value, but I've earned it. I've let myself earn it.
Yeah. I remember there was a realtor.
Yeah.
Who said, oh, Leah's so lucky.
Oh.
And I'm like, there ain't nothing about me that is lucky.
Oh. Yeah. It's a little backhanded. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I thought so too. Sometimes you get that in the world.
Right. Because they can't quite wrap their hand around the fact that you've earned it. You've had life experiences. You're not lucky. You earned it.
Why does manna fall on my lap from heaven?
Yes.
I think we give and we do and we have no expectations.
Yeah.
And we do it because we care.
Yes.
And then God's like, here. You don't know what that gift is, but I get so many gifts and they're people.
Yeah.
And their experiences and I'm an actress. I'm used to making no money. I'm always like with real estate.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? I get paid?
Yes. Get paid a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're in Montana.
I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
You're going to pay me?
Right.
Like I'll put on a show. I'll be the producer, director, the lighting designer, the sound designer, the costume designer, the set designer, and the director, and cast the show. And it'll be a 6-week rehearsal process. I'm not going to make a dime, and I'm going to work so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm going to build that cast up, and I'm going to tell a great story.
Yeah.
So I'm making money?
Yeah.
Nobody pays me money.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
So you're not. So then again, my question would be, and I'm gonna get there because I feel like
I know I talk on.
no, I could talk to you all day, but I know podcasting. There's a certain time frame you got to stay within.
You got to edit.
But I want to say is you're not driven by money.
No.
What are you driven by? What is that drive?
Excellence.
Excellence. Yes, I love that. And you have given so much of yourself. All of it.
Excellence with humans. Excellence being the best I can be.
I love that. That's wonderful. Thank you for answering that.
You're welcome.
It's wonderful.
Thank you for asking that.
I think it's so important.
I've never thought about it.
Yes. Because I think too, excellence can be defined in so many different ways. Bringing out the best version of yourself is excellent.
And the best version of other humans.
Yes. Yeah. That is super important. And I think we often, as women, we can do that, but I think we also don't look for it. We look for what is the destruction part, and it's so bad. And I wish more people like you were in this world looking to find that excellence in that person, because it is what was given to them, I believe, at birth.
And that kind of goes back from when we started earlier.
Yes.
Like God made us all, and we all have these gifts.
Yes.
And we all are special. And that's what I see when I see people. I'm like, okay, what's going on with you? Well, I'm just like in myself thinking that, how do I, even if it's for a 3-minute conversation at the checkout stand, at the grocery store.
Yeah.
How do I let you let out your beauty?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, not that I'm, but if I can.
Yes.
I've met some great friends that I've kept forever in grocery stores.
Yeah.
And doctors' offices.
Yes.
Waiting rooms.
Yeah. That's because you see the best in them, and you want them to see the best in themselves, which is it's wonderful. And I think you are a gift. And Montana Property Angels, you're an angel walking on this earth. So thank you so much. And I hate to do this, but we are getting down to our last few questions. Okay. So we're going to go there. And I just want to, before we go there, I just want to say it's been an honor to sit with you in this space. I feel like I've just sat with a legend, a Montana legend. I really do believe that. And I believe that just finding a little bit of parallel, it's been a gift for me today. Just a little bit of parallel of knowing that we both look for excellence in others. And I think that I do feel that I do.
Feel like that's what you're doing with your podcast.
I'm trying, but thank you.
The IWD406 Podcast.
Yes. Thank you for that plug. But yeah, thank you so much. It's really been an honor, and I'm just really grateful for that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're amazing.
Oh, so I feel the same way about you, and I'm going to get emotional. Okay.
Kleenex.
I know we have Kleenex. We have Kleenex near us. Okay. So you probably have answered this many times, but my first question is, if you could pick, no, you did not answer this. So this will be really fun. If you could pick one song to define your life, what would it be and why?
Brown Eyed Girl.
Ooh, why? I like a little Van Morrison. He's got your buttery voice.
Oh, always go back to Van.
Yes.
Van the man.
Yeah.
The energy. the optimism, the love. That song just, and as I get older, my eyes get more hazel and not as brown.
They're gorgeous.
But I'm going to tell you, when I die, be playing that song.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Brown Eyed Girl. And it's also fun.
It's so fun.
My brown-eyed girl. I love it. That's a great pick. Okay, my next question is, what's the funniest or most unexpected moment you've had while on air as a radio host? I was meaning to ask you this earlier. I'm glad we saved it till this time.
I like it.
Yeah, because you've interviewed some amazing people.
Yeah. Charlton Heston, Garth Brooks, like some cool things.
Very freaking cool.
Pinch me.
Yes. Do you get starstruck on a side note? Do you get starstruck?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah. Like, do you have a dream person you'd like to interview?
I got to meet Ronald Reagan when I was in the 6th grade. My grandpa took me to meet him. I don't know.
But do you have a funny moment or something that's
saying, what happened? What happened? Rob Debris and I were on B98 doing the morning show. Benny Sr. wanted Rob to come into the delivery room with me when I had my last baby.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, I was like, Rob, I'm just going to go to the hospital without you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call you and I'm going to be like, it happened really fast. So we don't keep.
Yes. I would not want that.
Yeah. I think we were trying to cover that up on the radio. And anyway, I can't even remember the exact situation, but there have been a lot of funny ones.
I'm sure.
A lot of funny ones. Times that we almost said really bad words. I never.
Yeah. What happens when do they get fined?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. What's considered a bad word? You can't say fuck?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can.
You can. I know
explicit.
it. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. You can't say that, but can you say things like hell or.
Yeah.
You can say shit? No.
You can't say shit. But.
Yeah. But
you can't say shit. I remember saying titty.
Oh, really?
And I'm trying to remember why.
But you did have funny moments like that.
A lot of funny moments. And the great thing about radio is you go in with a plan talking about, oh, these are the things happening in the world today. And then you get phone calls.
Oh,
and
the phone calls.
Changes the whole game. And suddenly it's
anything goes.
Anything goes.
So how did you deal with that? You did. You have to be quick.
And like my midday show was all you can request lunch. And then a funeral home decides to sponsor my lunch hour.
Okay.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
This is like the kiss of death.
Yes.
Okay. And so I started my show off every day. It's the all you can request lunch hour with Leah Lindsay, brought to you by Johnson Glowshop Funeral Home. Here is your dead guy of the day.
Shut it.
At the start of my show, every day, I featured someone who had passed on that day or some event in history and always played a song with it.
Oh.
And it became a really, people loved it.
I love that idea. Did you come up with that?
Kind of with some of the
cool.
brainstorming.
You got to do fun, cool things like that.
And then my whole hour was people calling in, telling me what to play, what they wanted.
Okay, got you.
And so I had to take their phone call. The song's 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes. This song is playing. I'm taking your phone call. I got to edit you, make you a story to intro the next song.
Shut it.
In seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot of pressure.
You do not know how fun.
Oh.
How fun when you've got 30 seconds to get just the right thing on the air and then play the song. Oh my gosh. It's freaking cool.
Wow.
I think I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
I don't ski. I don't.
Yeah, but it's your mind.
I love it.
I would be like, I don't know if I could do it.
That's why it's so fun.
That would be fun. Holy buckets.
So when you're looking for excellence in yourself, every day it was the magic was my listeners. They were funny. They would come up with, I would name them. We would give people names, and they became characters. They became locally famous. Still, that's cool. And then you go to the grocery store, or you go to Lamaze.
Yeah.
And Plastic Man goes, "Oh my God, Leah Lindsay's in Lamaze." And I'm like, "Oh, that's Plastic Man." Because he would always call, "Hey, this is Dee from Professional Plastic." So I started calling him Plastic Man. He ended up with his own B98 t-shirt.
Shut it. This is the kind of stuff I love. I love this stuff. These little details.
All the fun.
That is so amazing. You had to have had so much fun. I'm sure there are highs and lows of radio, but to be in that creative space and just the randomness that comes from it.
My friends that I studied acting with.
Yeah.
When Senior told me I couldn't be on the air with John the second day,
Yeah.
call my actor friends, and they're like, "You cannot take over the radio station the second day." Okay, do what he says, chill. And so I did. And I was quick back there. But they will all tell me, and they're all over the world. They're all over the world. They're in film, they're in TV, they're on commercials, they're teaching at colleges, and they're like, "You have done more theater than any of us."
Wow.
Because I was doing 2, 3, 4 shows a day.
Wow. Holy buckets.
Every day.
Wow.
So that's a way to get some muscle.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, are you still in contact with them? Like off and on?
My actor friends?
Yes.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I would say for what you guys have, that deeper connection, you'd still stay in touch. That's very
love
cool.
them. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you for sharing these stories. I love this. This is amazing. Okay. We're down to our last, and that's the thing if you want to do the pass the mic to the direct, but we're down to our last.
To this one or that
to
one?
the middle one. Yep.
Okay.
All right. We're down to our last part of the episode. Sorry, we're down to the last part of our chat, which is an important part. It's your opportunity to pass the mic to the next guest. So my question is, if you could pass the mic to a Montana woman to share their story on the IWD406 podcast, who would she be and why? This is hard. It is so hard. I'm sure a bazillion people.
There's just so many amazing women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say Pam Carbonari.
Okay.
Pam was the mayor of Kalispell.
Oh.
The creator of the Kalispell Downtown Association. She was the mayor for 8 years. She was city council for 8 years. This woman has really guided the Flathead. I met her when I first moved here and would be on my way at 4 a.m. to the radio station and accidentally butt dial her for whatever reason. My phone went on.
Yeah. Yes.
Call Pam. Yeah. She is visionary. She's retired.
Okay. When was she mayor? Was it recently or?
Mark Johnson is mayor now. Maybe 10 years ago.
Okay. Wow.
And just a force.
Yeah. You'd have to be.
A force for Montana, strong voice. I love her.
Oh, I can't wait. Just the way you light up and said that. I can't wait to meet her.
I got to go to Italy with her too.
Oh, very cool.
We had so much fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys have been friends for how long?
96.
Oh,
97.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for passing the mic to her. I can't wait to meet her.
You're going to love her.
I know. I love you. So whoever you're connected to, I'm going to love. So anyway, Leah, this has just been amazing. And I've really enjoyed this conversation. And I hope that in the future you'd come back. We could talk about so many other things.
Yeah.
I want to pick your brain on so many different things. So,
and maybe we should work on some different projects together.
I would love that. I would love that. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much for being the voice of Montana, the rock queen. The rock queen. Thank you. I appreciate it. A special thank you to our podcast guest. You can find all of her links in the description of this episode. If you like what you heard, please hit subscribe. You will be notified of future podcast guests. Follow us on our social media platforms and stay tuned for our next podcast chat with an amazing Montana woman.